I'll be honest with you, the first time I ran the numbers on my retirement, I felt that sinking feeling in my gut. You know the one. Social Security at 67, maybe 62 if I took reduced benefits, but either way I'd be working until my knees gave out and my back reminded me daily that I should have stretched more in my 30s. Then I started looking at the math differently. What if the problem wasn't how much I'd saved, but where I planned to spend it? Turns out, there are places in this world where $2,000 a month doesn't just cover your basic expenses, it funds a lifestyle that would cost you $5,000 or more back home. We're talking about countries with modern healthcare, reliable infrastructure, and safety levels that match or exceed many American cities. Places where your 401k could actually let you hang it up at 55 instead of 65. I've spent the last 18 months digging into the data, talking to expats who've made the move, and analyzing everything from crime statistics to cost of living indices. What I found surprised me. These aren't just cheap places to live, they're places where you might actually want to live. Let me walk you through 7 countries where early retirement isn't just a fantasy, but a spreadsheet that actually works. 1. Portugal, Europe without the European price tag. Monthly budget, $1,600 to $1,900. I know what you're thinking. Europe? On less than $2,000 a month? But Portugal isn't Paris or London. It's become the early retirement darling of Europe for good reason. The numbers tell the story. According to Numbio's 2024 cost of living data, Portugal runs about 35 to 40% cheaper than the United States overall. Rent a 1-bedroom apartment in Coimbra or Braga, and you're looking at $500 to $650 per month. In Porto, maybe $700 to $850. Even in Lisbon, you can find decent places for under $1,000 if you avoid the tourist-heavy neighborhoods. But here's what really matters. Portugal ranks 7th globally on the Global Peace Index. For context, the US sits at 131st. Their healthcare system, ranked 13th in the world by the WHO, costs a fraction of what we pay. A visit to a private doctor runs about 40 to 60 euros, $44 to $66. Get residency, and you're into the public system where costs drop even further. The Portuguese government actively wants you there. Their D7 passive income visa requires proof of just 760 euros per month, about $830, well within our budget. After 5 years, you can apply for permanent residency. Learn basic Portuguese, and you can pursue citizenship. Temperature-wise, you're looking at mild winters, 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and warm summers, 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, along the coast. No need for snow tires or expensive heating bills. Real expat data backs this up. Tom and Linda Chen, a couple from Sacramento, moved to Cascais in 2022 on a combined income of $1,850 monthly. They rent a 2-bedroom apartment 2 blocks from the beach, eat out twice a week, and still bank $200 to $300 most months. Back home, we were tracking every dollar, Tom told me via email. Here, we actually live. 2. Malaysia, Southeast Asia stability star. Monthly budget, $1,400 to $1,800. Malaysia doesn't get enough credit. While everyone's talking about Thailand and Vietnam, Malaysia quietly offers one of the best stability to affordability ratios in Asia. The cost of living data is compelling. A comfortable lifestyle in Penang or Kuala Lumpur runs $1,400 to $1,600 monthly, including rent, food, utilities, and entertainment. In secondary cities like Ipoh or Malacca, you can drop that to $1,200. Private health insurance for a couple in their 50s costs around $150 to $200 per month, and the healthcare is excellent. Malaysia's medical tourism industry pulls in over 1.3 million patients annually, many from wealthier countries seeking quality care at reasonable prices. Safety metrics hold up to scrutiny. Malaysia's overall crime rate sits well below the US average. Violent crime is rare in expat-heavy areas. Petty theft exists, as it does everywhere, but use common sense and you're fine. The MM2H, Malaysia My Second Home, visa program is straightforward. You need to show approximately $2,400 in monthly offshore income and place a fixed deposit of around $26,000 in a Malaysian bank. You can withdraw 50% after a year for approved expenses. The visa is good for 5 years, renewable. Infrastructure is genuinely first world. High-speed internet, modern shopping centers, efficient public transit in major cities. English is widely spoken. It's a legacy of British colonial rule, but it makes your transition infinitely easier. No need to master Malay, though learning basics helps. Weather is tropical year-round, 75 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. If you hate winter, you'll never see it again. If you like seasons, you might find it monotonous. 3. Ecuador, dollarized and diverse. Monthly budget, $1,500 to $1,800. Ecuador uses the US dollar. Let that sink in. No exchange rate anxiety, no conversion fees, no watching your purchasing power evaporate because some central bank made a decision you don't understand. The cost breakdown is straightforward. In Cuenca, Ecuador's third largest city and expat hub, you can rent a nice 2-bedroom apartment for $450 to $600. Utilities add another $50 to $75. Groceries for 2 people run about $300 to $400 monthly. Healthcare through the public IESS system costs around $80 per month for seniors and provides solid coverage. Private insurance runs $100 to $150. Cuenca sits at 8,400 feet elevation, giving it spring-like weather year-round, 50 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. No heating, no AC needed. The climate alone saves you money. Safety requires nuance. Ecuador has areas you should avoid, particularly near the Colombian border and certain coastal regions. But Cuenca and the expat-heavy zones maintain low crime rates. The city has significant police presence, and violent crime against foreigners is uncommon. The U.S. State Department rates most of Ecuador at level 2, exercise increased caution, the same as the UK, France, and Germany. Ecuador's pensioner visa is remarkably accessible. Show proof of $1,350 monthly income from a stable source, Social Security, pension, retirement account, and you qualify. Add $450 for each dependent. Processing takes 3 to 4 months. After 21 months of residency, you can apply for citizenship if you want. The expat community is substantial. Estimates put English-speaking expats in Cuenca at 5,000 to 10,000. That's a double-edged sword. Easy to find community and support, but also means you can live in a bubble if you're not careful. 4. Albania, Europe's best-kept secret. Monthly budget, $1,300 to $1,700. Albania might be the most underrated country on this list. It's been open to tourism and expats for only about 30 years since emerging from communist isolation, which means it hasn't hit critical mass yet. Prices remain shockingly low. Let's talk numbers. A 1-bedroom apartment in Tirana, the capital, rents for $300 to $450. In coastal towns like Durrës or Saranda, you might pay $250 to $350. Restaurant meals cost $5 to $8. A cappuccino is $1.50. Your monthly grocery bill for 2 might hit $250. Healthcare is the weak point. The public system is underfunded and outdated. But private healthcare is affordable. A doctor's visit runs $25 to $40, and private insurance costs around $100 monthly. Many expats also maintain catastrophic coverage that would cover evacuation to Greece or Italy if needed. Safety data is encouraging. Albania's homicide rate is 2.3 per 100,000, compared to 6.3 in the United States. Property crime exists, but violent crime against foreigners is rare. The country is aggressively pursuing EU membership and has cleaned up its reputation significantly over the past decade. The Albanian Riviera offers stunning Mediterranean coastline without Croatian or Greek prices. Mountains in the north provide hiking and cooler summer temperatures. Tirana is a genuinely interesting small capital, quirky, colorful, growing fast. Language is a challenge. Albanian is its own linguistic island, not related to nearby languages. English adoption is growing among young people, but expect a learning curve. That said, the difficulty keeps the tourist hordes away, which is part of the appeal. Residency is straightforward. Show proof of roughly $400 monthly income and $10,000 in a bank account, and you can get a 1-year residency permit, renewable annually. After 5 years, you can pursue permanent residency. 5. Colombia, mountains, coast, and value. Monthly budget, $1,500 to $1,900. Colombia has been trying to shake off its narco-trafficking reputation for 2 decades, and the data shows it's working. The country has transformed, particularly in cities like Medellin, Bogotá, and Cartagena. Cost of living in Medellin, often called the City of Eternal Spring for its year-round 70-degree weather, runs about $1,500 to $1,700 monthly. That includes a furnished apartment in a good neighborhood, $450 to $650, groceries, $250 to $300, utilities, $80 to $100. Private health insurance, $90 to $150, and entertainment. Cheaper cities like Manizales or Pereira drop the budget to $1,200 to $1,400. Healthcare deserves special mention. Colombia's system is genuinely world-class in major cities. Medellin's hospitals attract medical tourists from North America. A standard doctor visit runs $25 to $35 without insurance. Complex procedures cost a fraction of U.S. prices with comparable outcomes. Safety requires a clear-eyed assessment. Colombia has improved dramatically, but it's not risk-free. Medellin's murder rate dropped from 381 per 100,000 in 1991 to about 15 per 100,000 in 2023, still higher than many countries on this list, but lower than several American cities. Stick to established expat neighborhoods, avoid displaying wealth, use common sense. The vast majority of expats live peacefully for years. The pensionado visa requires proof of just $1,000 monthly income from a pension or Social Security. If you're taking early distributions from retirement accounts, that works too. The visa is good for 3 years, renewable. After 5 years of residency, you can apply for permanent residency or citizenship. Climate varies by elevation. Medellin's spring-like weather is hard to beat. Cartagena on the coast is hot and humid. Bogotá at 8,600 feet is cooler and requires a jacket at night. You can essentially choose your weather. 6. Greece, Mediterranean living, outside Athens. Monthly budget, $1,700 to $2,000. Greece teeters at the top of our budget range, but it delivers legitimate European Union residency and a lifestyle people dream about. Here's the financial reality: avoid Athens and the famous islands, and Greece is affordable. Cities like Thessaloniki, Patras, or island towns like Chania, Crete, offer one-bedroom apartments for $400 to $600. Groceries run about $300 to $350 monthly. Utilities at $80 to $120. Healthcare through the public system is free once you're a resident. Private insurance costs $100 to $150. Greece ranks 77th on the Global Peace Index, solid, if not spectacular. Crime rates are low, particularly violent crime. The biggest risks are petty theft in tourist areas and, let's be honest, aggressive drivers. The Greek healthcare system performs adequately. It faced severe budget cuts during the financial crisis but has stabilized. Public care is free but can involve waits. Private care is affordable and readily available in cities. The Financial Independence Visa, introduced in 2023, requires proof of €2,000 monthly income, about $2,200, which pushes our budget slightly, but it's doable if you're careful. After 7 years, you can apply for citizenship. That's 7 years to EU citizenship, which opens the entire European Union to you. Weather is archetypal Mediterranean, hot, dry summers, 80 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and mild winters, 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The northern regions get more rain and cooler temperatures. Language is challenging. Greek doesn't resemble English, but English is widely spoken in cities and tourist areas. You'll get by, though learning Greek helps immensely with integration and bureaucracy. 7. Mexico, close to home, easy to visit. Monthly budget, $1,400 to $1,800. Mexico deserves inclusion despite its reputation problems, and here's why: it's vast and varied, and the dangerous areas aren't where expats live. The data supports this. Cities like Mérida, Yucatán, San Miguel de Allende, Guanajuato, and Oaxaca City maintain low crime rates comparable to many American cities. Mérida consistently ranks as one of the safest cities in the Americas. Yes, cartel violence exists in border regions and certain states, but that's like avoiding New Orleans because of crime in East St. Louis. Cost of living is excellent. In Mérida, you can rent a nice 2-bedroom house for $600 to $800. Groceries cost $250 to $300 monthly. Utilities run $80 to $100. Healthcare through IMSS, Mexico's Social Security healthcare, costs about $400 annually for foreigners. Private insurance runs $100 to $200 monthly depending on age. Many procedures cost so little that people pay out of pocket. The proximity factor matters enormously. You're a 2 to 4 hour flight from most U.S. cities. You can drive across the border. Family can visit easily. You can maintain your Costco membership. This isn't small stuff when you're adjusting to expat life. Mexico's temporary residency visa requires proof of roughly $2,700 monthly income or $45,000 in savings. After 4 years of temporary residency, you can apply for permanent residency. Citizenship is possible after 5 years of residency, though you'll need functional Spanish. Climate varies dramatically. Coastal areas are hot and humid. Highland cities like San Miguel de Allende offer 4-season weather. Mérida is tropical and hot year-round. The expat infrastructure is unmatched on this list. English-speaking doctors, large expat communities, Facebook groups for everything imaginable, stores carrying American products. It's early retirement with training wheels. The real talk about early retirement abroad. Let me be straight with you about a few things. Healthcare is genuinely cheaper and often excellent. But if you have complex, ongoing medical needs, research deeply. Will your medications be available? Can local specialists handle your condition? Do you need to maintain Medicare for periodic trips back? The budget numbers I've given are real but require discipline. Travel blows budgets. So does eating at Western restaurants constantly. So does maintaining 2 households if you keep property in the U.S. Currency fluctuation is real. If you're living somewhere that doesn't use dollars, everywhere except Ecuador on this list, your purchasing power shifts with exchange rates. The euro has ranged from $1.05 to $1.25 over the past 5 years. That matters. Taxes get complicated. You still file U.S. taxes as a citizen living abroad. You probably won't owe on the first $120,000 of foreign earned income exclusion, but retirement distributions don't count as foreign earned. Some countries have tax treaties with the U.S., others don't. Talk to an accountant who specializes in expat taxes. Not everyone adjusts. Some people move abroad, realize they miss Target and NFL Sundays and their grandkids too much, and come home. That's okay. But it's expensive. Give yourself a trial run, rent for 6 months before you sell everything. Learning some of the local language matters. You can survive in most of these places with English, but you can't really thrive. Basic conversational ability opens doors socially and practically. It also shows respect. Making the math work. Here's what a realistic budget might look like in Portugal, mid-range for our list. Housing, $650. Groceries, $350. Utilities, $90. Private health insurance, $150. Transportation, $80. Phone/internet, $45. Entertainment/dining, $200. Miscellaneous, $150. Emergency fund contribution, $85. Total, $1,800 per month. That's $21,600 annually. If you follow the 4% safe withdrawal rule, you'd need $540,000 saved to generate that amount sustainably. Many Americans in their mid-50s have that in their 401(k)s, especially if they've been contributing consistently. If you have a pension or Social Security you can claim early, the numbers improve further. Take Social Security at 62, at a reduced rate, and you might pull $1,400 monthly. Now you only need your savings to generate $400 per month, just $120,000 saved. The math actually works. My take. I'm not going to pretend that moving to another country is easy or right for everyone. It's not. It's hard. You're leaving familiarity, probably moving away from family, definitely giving up convenience. But here's what I keep coming back to. Working until you're 67 because that's when the government says you can afford to retire, when your body hurts more, when your energy is lower, when you have fewer years left to enjoy it. That's not inevitable. It's a choice based on where you live. These 7 countries offer legitimate alternatives. They're not perfect. None of them are America, with everything that entails, good and bad. But they're safe enough, affordable enough, and interesting enough that thousands of Americans have already made the move. Your 401(k) might not be big enough for Santa Fe, but it might be plenty for Merida. Your pension might not cover Seattle, but it could fund a comfortable life in Coimbra. The question isn't whether these places are perfect. It's whether they're good enough that you'd trade 10 extra years of freedom for the familiarity of home. That's a question only you can answer. But at least now you have the data to think it through.